of a sudden you end up with a million different pay rates for one employee. There are only so many fields in some of these software programs that allow you to do that. And the more times that you have to enter those different pay rates, the more chance for error. On the other end, comes out wrong with the certified payroll report, red flag. Okay? If you're working for a good, competent general contractor, they're going to be looking at your certified payroll. If not, they should be, because they're ultimately responsible for that. So they may come back to you and say, okay, I see that you pay them the base hourly rate, but I don't see your fringe. Where's your fringe? People have said to me in the years past, I don't need to show that on the certified payroll report. Wrong. Labor compliance is going to come right back and say, where's the rest of the money? Where did you pay it? So make sure, if you've got one of Monty's plans, that you're showing that fringe going on that certified payroll report. The thing about the DIR is that the first thing they're going to request, if they're looking at you, or if somebody's blowing the whistle on you, is they're going to call you, or they're going to send you a letter, actually. And they're going to say, we want to see your certified payroll reports for this period to this period on job XYZ. And you have usually 10 days to get that to them. So you better have your certified payroll reports prepared every week, have them on file, have them for your subs, because once you need to have those, you're not going to be able to scramble around and get them from all your subcontractors if you don't already have them on file. Okay? So some of the things that Construction Partner can help us do is to also help implement the benefit programs to increase your profits and employee retention that Monty talked about. It's got a really easy way to go through and just separate your fringe from your base pay. Or you can pay them the whole amount. Now, let me go back, and I should have put a slide up here with prevailing wage determination, but you'll see that next week if you come to the workshop. If you go to dir.ca.gov, you see the employer payments, and you see one column that says training. Everybody knows that you don't pay training to the employee, correct? Okay. So training is a separate fund that is paid to the Division of Apprenticeship Standards. And it's another agency that's underneath the Department of Industrial Relations, and they are very strongly encouraging, actually they're mandating now, they used to encourage, now they're mandating that you have to employ apprentices on public works projects. And there is a ratio that you need to apply hiring apprentices to the number of journeyman hours that you have. So if you have 5 hours of journeyman labor, you have to have 1 apprentice hour. And it can't be somebody that is one of your employees that, oh, he just started last week, he doesn't know much, we'll just pay him as an apprentice. That doesn't work. You have to go through a process, DAS 140, file that. I'm not going to go into all those details because Tom's going to talk about it next week. But just know that these are all things that you need to be staying on top of and managing. And this software has fields that allows you to put all that stuff in so you can keep track of it. We need to accurately track job costs and profits for a couple of reasons. You bid a job today and you finish it in 6 months and you want to know how much did I make on it. If your system isn't currently putting all your labor burden and every single cost that's associated, your bonding costs, everything, your insurance costs against that job, you really don't know what that job cost you. So this has a way of taking every single cost and putting it to each job. And I know that QuickBooks, and I'm not bad-mouthing QuickBooks, don't get me wrong. It does what it can do for the amount that it costs, okay? But it doesn't, they promote the contractor version. I can tell you it doesn't cost everything to that job accurately. So that's the conversation we just had in the back. So just be careful with that, because when Jaden or your bonding representative comes to you and they start analyzing the numbers, they're going to see that not everything is in that job, because I know they're doing a pretty thorough job. Your accountant is also going to see that you don't have everything expensed to that job. That training fund should be expensed to that job. So there's a way to do that through payroll. It's not taxable to the employer and the employee, but it costs it to the job, and then it puts it in your liability account to pay to that training fund. Okay? if I get too into accounting, just blow me back, okay? And so there are a ton of reports in this software that you can, with one single data entry, input the data. It will go to a lot of different areas in this full package accounting software. And on the back side, print out the reports that you need, job profit summaries, reports to submit your training funds, how much, give to your estimators, where are we at on this job? We need a percentage of completion. So those are the kinds of things that you can get out of the system with one touch of the button. And you can do all this without hiring additional administrative or accounting staff. When I go out and consult, I hear people say to me in the offices, well, I want to know what the prevailing wage rate is for me working in the office because this is 6 times as much work as, and I'm sorry, there isn't one. So if you're an owner, let's give your employees a product that will make it easy on them and give you the results at the end so you can see where you're at. And some of the challenges, like I just talked about, we're tracking the multiple pay rates and paying the employees the accurate job pay rates. And the way that it's set up, rather than setting up each individual employee with a pay rate, each job has pay rate tables that you set up. So if you've got a job and a laborer never gets an increase on that job, you don't ever have to go in and change that job pay rate. When you pay somebody as a labor group 1 on that job and you tie it to that job, it's always going to pay you the correct rate. So it's just very simple and you don't have to spend a lot of time thinking about it. You can track your apprenticeship levels. I don't know if there's any union contractors here, but even when you're non-union and you're dispatching those apprentices, you do need to keep track of their hours and submit monthly reports so that the union knows when to increase them to the next level and then send you notification of their pay increases. It accrues all those fringe benefits accurately that Monty was talking about, your health that you can take a benefit for, your pension, all of those types of things, and then it gives you one single report to send in with your monthly submittal of payment. And it creates timely and accurate certified payrolls. I have to say, this was probably the #1 seller when I first got into the software back in 2003. I started looking at it. Is a lot of time can be spent managing everything in Excel spreadsheets, and then you have to tie it all together. And so you're putting in the payroll in your software, and then you're putting that somewhere else where you're expensing how much it's costing you on the job. And then you have another spreadsheet, or you're handwriting your certified payroll reports. The more times you enter the data, the more chances there is for an error. So one-time data entry, you enter payroll, you expense it to the job, it puts your correct fringe rate, your training rate, your pay rate, all of your deductions and everything. With one touch of the button, you've got your certified payroll reports. You print them out, the manager, whoever is responsible for payroll, signs it, and away they go. And it doesn't look like the forms that are on the DIR site or the DOL site, but they do have the language in the second page, and it is a widely accepted format. I've never seen one get kicked back yet by any public agency. Some more of the challenges are paying your subcontractors per the contract. So now you're a general, you've got subcontractors, you've awarded subcontracts, you've got another spreadsheet that you say, okay, I'm paying them $100,000, we're doing progress, billings, and then you've got retention on top of that. How do I keep track of all that? Again, one time, you enter it in here, you have subcontractor invoices, it holds the retention when you pay them. You can release the retention at the end of the job while you're reviewing to make sure that they've paid all their money into the fringes or wherever they've said that they should be paid. You can also file your preliminary lien notices with this software. It's got all that information in it. It also does your conditional, unconditional, and final notices that you need to provide if you're a sub to your general each month for progress payments. It does tracking and reporting correctly of workers' comp premiums. We were also talking about QuickBooks. It has a work comp feature in it, but it doesn't accurately expense it to the job. It just puts it in overhead. So you want all of those expenses related to that job to be in that job, so you know exactly where you're at. Oh, what did it do?
Push 5.